So the generals in his army spoke to his brother Amr, and they knew the only one that could take them out of this torture of them fighting against everyone is his brother Amr. So they came and gathered around Amr, and they told Amr, the brother of Hassan, which are both the children of Tubban As'ad, they told Amr, your brother is torturing us, and you are the best king to be the leader and the king and to lead the people of Yemen, and we stand by you if you get rid of your brother. And they kept on deceiving his brother. All the generals agreed, except one general by the name of Dhu Ra'ayn. He refused. And then when Amr agreed with the rest of the generals, Dhu Ra'ayn, he wrote a poem expressing his refusal and disapproval of what he's going to do. And he put it in a letter and he gave it to Amr and he said, keep that with you. I'll tell you to open it one day. He was smart. So what happened? Amr walked into his brother's tent, Hassan, and he took out a knife and he killed him. Now the leadership of Yemen and the generals, as they promised, they gathered around Amr and stood by Amr. And what was the return that Amr was supposed to give back to the generals? Is to stop the wars and go back to Yemen. Because the generals went against Hassan, his brother, because Hassan is taking them into wars and killing their own children and families. And they don't want that. They want to stay in Yemen. They're happy there. And there's no need to be too selfish to take over the whole world. So they agreed that Hassan will be killed by Amr. In return, that Amr takes him back to Yemen and no more wars. And Amr did so. So Amr went back with his army, the Yemeni army, went back to Yemen. But Amr, when he became the king and went back to Yemen, he can't sleep anymore. He's been so depressed and stressed. He can't sleep anymore, always been stressed, always been depressed over the killing of his own brother. He killed his own brother. So he would not sleep the night and stress during the day and being so depressed. So he gathered the fortune tellers and the doctors and the advisors around him. And he said, I can't sleep the night. I'm depressed during the day. My mind is going to bust. What do I do? So they told him, no one had ever killed his brother and did not go through what you went through. Because your own actions, killing your own brother, that's why you're going through this. So he said, what do I do? So they told him, his advisor said, you have to kill the generals who encourage you to kill your brother. So he brought all the generals and he started to kill each one of them who encouraged him to kill his own brother. And then when he came to kill Dhu Ra'ayn, he told them, hold on a sec. Remember the letter I gave you? Can you please bring it out now? So he brought the letter out and he had 2 poems expressing his disapproval and not agreeing with him over the killing of his brother. He said, remember? And I told you, I was against you killing your own brother. So you've got no rights to kill me. So Amr let him go. Amr bin Tubban let him go. And because of that depression that he was going through, he passed away. He died from sadness and depression. Killing your own brother is not an easy thing. Why ever been deceived by the generals? And then, after Amr bin Tubban, when Amr passed away, a man by Lukhayni'a Dhu Shanatir, he was from the tribe of Himyar. He was more of a gangster at that time. Very evil. And he was one of those who was committing homosexualities. And he had a big gang around him. And because of the division within the family of Tubban As'ad, after the action of his own children, one of them killing their own brother, the family of Tubban was divided. So Lukhayni'a Dhu Shanatir took advantage of this, him and his gang. So they overthrew the family of Tubban As'ad from the kingdom, from the throne, and they took over Yemen. And Dhu Shanatir spread corruption in Yemen. And people were just sick of the corruption and the actions of Dhu Shanatir, until they went to one of the brothers of Amr, which another son of Tubban bin As'ad, his name Dhu Nawas. And Dhu Nawas is a very important figure in history, in which begins a door into the biography of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Dhu Nawas, at the time of the death of his brother Hassan and the death of his brother Amr, he was young. And then Dhu Shanatir took over Dhu Nawas grew up and he became strong and wise young man. When Dhu Shanatar was spreading corruption in Yemen, the people of Yemen got sick of Dhu Shanatar, so they said the only one that could save you from the corruption of Dhu Shanatar is Dhu Nawas, who is from the descendants of those who have been in kingdom for many years. So they went to Dhu Nawas after he was a brave young man, wise enough to take responsibility. Dhu Nawas plotted to go and kill Dhu Shanatar, so he went into the palace where Dhu Shanatar was sitting. He had a knife hidden in his shoe. He took it out. He killed him, slaughtered his head. He took it off. And people were so happy to see that Dhu Shanatar is out of the kingdom. Dhu Nawas ran away. He fled thinking that everyone's going to turn against him. But on the contrary, even the army of Dhu Shanatar stood by Dhu Nawas. And they said, you are the only one that can bring justice back to Yemen. So Dhu Nawas now again, the children of Tubban bin As'ad are again the kings of Yemen. Now Dhu Nawas, as we mentioned, Dhu Nawas was a Jew on the same religion as his father and his brothers. In Najran was more a Christian dominated area. How Christianity came to Najran? It came through one of the followers of Isa alayhi salam. Of course, not direct followers, but from the followers of the path of Isa alayhi salam. His name is Phimion. Phimion was a slave Christian who was working for his master. His master is from Najran. The people of Najran used to worship a palm tree. They had a palm tree. They used to worship this palm tree. When they need something, they go to the palm tree. When they're in need of something, they ask the palm tree. When they want water, they go to the palm tree. When they need kids, they go to the palm tree. And then when the palm tree gives fruits, they eat from the palm tree. I don't know how that makes sense. The people of Najran, as we mentioned, the people of Najran used to worship a palm tree. Until this slave, Christian slave, by the name of Phimion, came among them, and he was, the master of Phimion was from the people of Najran. Phimion, they say he was a righteous man, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appeared many miracles on his hands. And his master was amazed from the character of Phimion. And one night, when Phimion was used to pray and wake up the nights and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Azza wa Jal used to appear light out of him. Obviously, he was following the right path. And one day the master of Phimion came into the room of Phimion, and he saw Phimion praying and uttering with words he's never heard before, and he saw an amazing light. So he approached him and he said, what's this religion that you have? So Phimion preached to his master, and his master said, but the people of Najran will refuse your worship and refuse your ideology if they know of it, because we worship this tree of ours. So Phimion said, how about if I tell you that my Lord will destroy your Lord? He said, if that's the case, then get your Lord to destroy our Lord, so we could know that your Lord is the powerful Lord, and we follow him. So what Phimion asked, he asked for the people of Najran to be gathered around that tree they used to worship. And Phimion asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send a thunder to destroy that tree. And while Phimion is praying to Allah Azza wa Jal, asking him for that, a thunder came from the heavens. A great lightning came from the heavens with a thunder that destroyed and burned that tree. When the people of Najran saw that, they were amazed. So they realized that the worship of Phimion is the right worship. So the people of Najran turned to the religion of Isa alayhi salam. And obviously distortion started to take place. From Najran, some members of Najran migrated from Najran, which is in the northwest, down to Yemen. And from those members, among them there used to be from the scholars of the religion of Isa alayhi salam. At that time, it was the time of Dhu Nawas. So now, that's how Christianity now started to enter Yemen. At that time, it was Dhu Nawas who was the leader and the king of Yemen. Dhu Nawas used to rely, and that was one of the customs of the Jews. Until this day, they depend a lot on fortune tellers and magicians. Magic is one important aspect in their life. And Dhu Nawas, as a Jew, used to depend a lot on magicians. And one of the main magicians of Dhu Nawas was getting so old that Dhu Nawas was afraid that once this magician dies, he's going to carry the knowledge of magic.